By 7:15 in the morning, Maple Ridge Drive looked like someone had called in a SWAT team for a bake sale dispute. 3 police cruisers had the exit covered. In the middle of it all, 2 grown men in dollar store tactical vests lay face down in my front yard, their knees sinking into my perfectly edged lawn. Across the street, Denise Harrow, HOA president and neighborhood tyrant, shrieked that they were protecting the community, that I was a trained killer, and that nobody understood what I was capable of. I stood there, t-shirt and gym shorts, arms relaxed. One officer glanced at me. "Did they really try to take your daughter?" "Yeah," I said. "So, I suggested they try crawling instead." Before the screaming, I had moved to Cypress Hollow for one simple reason: I just wanted some quiet. After 12 years as a Navy SEAL, I planned a life of school drop-offs, straight lawn lines, and grilling. Then came Denise Harrow. Where I saw a pull-up bar, she saw a paramilitary training structure visible from the street. Where I saw an American flag, she saw flag size exceeds recommended dimension. At an HOA meeting, I heard her say my military history and combat stress were concerning, and they wanted to ensure all children were safe. I asked if she meant my daughter. The anonymous calls to Child Protective Services started next. They showed up twice, found a bookshelf of picture books, a sandbox, and exactly one pull-up bar. They closed the case and politely told Denise to stop filing malicious reports. Denise did not take that well. She told her inner circle that if the system wouldn't protect the community, they would create their own. Thus was born the Cypress Hollow Child Safety Task Force: Denise, Troy, her sister's boyfriend who owned a reflective vest, and Glenn, an HOA board member. They bought fake badges, cheap plate carriers, and printed documents with phrases like emergency and child endangerment. Their plan was a felony: wait for me to leave, show up with fake badges, tell whoever answered, Maddie, that they had an emergency order to take the child for a safety assessment, and blame bureaucracy later. Saturday afternoon, I told my 7-year-old daughter, Maddie, I was running to the hardware store. What Denise didn't know was that my house had more cameras than a bank. I saw the white Crown Vic parked 2 streets over. My phone buzzed, motion alert. Front porch. I tapped the feed and heard Troy's voice: "Sweetie, we just need you to come with us. Your dad knows." I turned my truck around. Troy boomed that this was an emergency, that they were like the police, but for kids. The door cracked open an inch. Maddie's eye was visible. That's when I stepped onto the front porch. "Hey gentlemen, you lost?" Troy spun around, stammering that this was official child safety business. Denise snapped from the walkway, making everyone jump. I didn't look back, but my voice softened. "Maddie, sweet pea, go lock the back door and wait in my room. Remember what we practiced." Glenn puffed up and crowed that I just admitted I drill my kid. I plucked the emergency order from Troy's hand, skimmed the Word document, and snorted. "This isn't an order. This is a Word document with too much bold." Glenn stepped toward me, chin jutting, threatening to use force. Troy made the mistake. He grabbed for the doorknob. I moved. It wasn't flashy. It was terrifyingly efficient. 1 second Troy stood cocky and loud. The next he was on his knees in the flower bed, arm twisted behind his back. Glenn lunged and turned his tackle into a startled yelp and a graceless sprawl across the welcome mat. I didn't punch or kick. I just arranged them. In 10 seconds, both men were face down, breathing hard, ego shredded. I told them calmly that they were going to stay exactly where they were while I called the actual police and explained that they tried to abduct a child under color of authority. I dialed one-handed. "Yeah, this is Ryan Calder at 3908 Cedar Trace. I've got 2 individuals impersonating officers attempting to remove my minor daughter. They're currently detained on my lawn." The squad cars rolled in 3 minutes later. The first officer gently waved Maddie back from the window. I silently handed over the folded document. The officer opened it, read, blinked, and turned it so his partner could see the Comic Sans heading. His partner snorted. "Ma'am," the officer said to Denise, "this isn't an order. This is something you printed off your home computer." The supervisor arrived, taking in the scene. I quietly unlocked my phone, handed over the video feed showing the whole pathetic scuffle. The supervisor let out a long breath. "We have attempted custodial interference, impersonation, and criminal nuisance." Denise sputtered, pointing at me. The officer cut in, confirming she had been warned about the false CPS reports. He turned to me. "Did anyone authorize these people to remove your child?" I gave him the same look I'd given insurgents who asked stupid questions. Not unless the state of Virginia recently decided to outsource child welfare to the HOA. The metallic click of handcuffs was to Cypress Hollow what church bells were to other towns. The supervisor looked at Denise and told her to turn around.
She orchestra.
When the cuffs closed around Denise's wrists, a hush fell. I knelt to Maddie at the front door.
Are you okay? She nodded.
They were bad pretend cops. You said pretend cops are worse than real villains. Yeah, because they're cowards. Legally, the fallout was severe. Denise was charged with impersonating an officer and conspiracy to commit custodial interference. Her lawyer negotiated a deal: probation, mandatory counseling, and $15,000 in fines. Troy and Glenn also received charges and community service. Picking up trash on the highway in vests that now read Litter Patrol in the same Comic Sans font. The Cypress Hollow HOA board voted unanimously to remove Denise as president and banned her from serving on any committee for life. The clubhouse attorney announced that the HOA never had the authority to create a quasi-police unit, ever. The fine hit Denise's account the next morning. When she tried to appeal, the judge looked at the video of the fake cops on my lawn and said, "Ma'am, you tried to kidnap a child with a Word document and a wish. You're lucky you're not in a cell."